Do you believe that I can make you feel something right now? Something your body recognizes, but your conditioning taught you to ignore. Perhaps just then, a part of you perked up. Maybe you sensed a tiny flicker of anticipation. Well, that's not adrenaline or anxiety, and I hope it's not hunger pangs for our impending lunch. That is the chemistry of curiosity. It's your biology's way of whispering, pay attention. Maybe you remember, as I do, when curiosity burned in you like wildfire, and then school handed you a hose. Wonder was the first thing washed away, and your questions, our questions, fell silent because we were being trained to follow directions, not discoveries, to surrender our curiosity for compliance. But raw, pulsing, body-awakening curiosity is the biological and chemical experience of becoming. And in that state, your mind races ahead of itself, seeing patterns, building bridges, sparking ideas faster than you can count them. You enter flow, this exquisite intersection where challenge meets skill and time forgets to tick. Ideas spiral, creativity surges. You're not just learning, you are becoming. Harvard neurologist Dr. Andrew Budson says it simply: attention is the most crucial factor when it comes to memory. What you pay attention to, you remember. But every second, millions of sensory signals are begging for entry into your awareness. And the brain's gatekeeper, your reticular activating system, decides which ones get through. And curiosity is the key that says open. But instead of cultivating that key, we've hidden it. We take young, curious minds made to move and tell them to sit still. We hush the explorers and hand them worksheets. We measure memory instead of meaning. We praise perfection instead of progress. At home, at work, at school, we label curiosity as distraction, wonder as rebellion, and nature's greatest driver of growth as disorder. And when curiosity is punished, it doesn't die, it retreats. It goes subterranean until one day it resurfaces as indifference. This is the invisible epidemic. And for years, I was infected too. After 25 years in the machine of education, I didn't leave because of a single event. I left because of a heartbreaking pattern I could no longer unsee. Joy buried beneath data. Curiosity mislabeled disruption. Teachers burning out, and students dimming, not in ability, but in spirit. Again and again, I watched the essence of humanity, wonder, empathy, imagination, stripped away in the name of evidence, efficiency, and control. Something in me kept asking quietly, but persistently, there must be a better way. I knew the why. Now I needed the how. So I stepped beyond the walls that I spent decades defending, and I followed curiosity. What started as an experiment in intuition and freedom became a movement, always meaningful education. It wasn't built out of rebellion, but out of remembrance of how humans are meant to grow, grounded not in obedience, but in neuroscience, not in control, but curiosity. And curiosity did exactly what it is designed to do. It led me into creation, not of a lesson plan, of a paradigm shift, a new way of expanding human growth and potential. AME is the why, and the meaningful learning framework is the how. Together, they shift the questions away from what and when are we going to teach them, to how and why are we learning. And along the way I learned this: when curiosity takes center stage, we don't just get better students, we nurture more complete humans. Because curiosity is the ignition point to every form of meaningful growth. It's what opens the mind, stirs the heart, and awakens the will to act. Stephen Kotler, founder of the Flow Research Collective, says it best. Curiosity is the spark. It is the initial intrinsic motivator in a chain that leads to passion, purpose, autonomy, and mastery. When we follow it, we don't just feel focused, we find fuel. Dr. Mary Helen Immordino Yang reminds us, we don't learn deeply unless we feel deeply. Emotion and cognition are not rivals, they are dance partners. Curiosity works precisely because it moves us. And when dopamine floods the system, as described in the molecule of more, it does more than light us up. It launches us forward. Desire dopamine drives the quest toward possibility. Control dopamine charts the path toward wisdom. Together, they transform learning into evolving. It is time to stop suppressing the chemistry that fuels our growth and start learning the way that we were wired to. But before we reimagine schools, I want you to remember your own. The smell of lead pencils, the hum of fluorescent lights, the moment your curiosity was smacked down by a system that didn't know what to do with it. Now picture this instead, a place where you're taught to follow the spark inside you, not to earn someone's approval, but to uncover your passions, your purpose. A place where curiosity is the curriculum, wonder is welcomed, and what's meaningful to you matters. Since 2019, AME has been circling the globe, and I've seen what happens when curiosity is not controlled, but celebrated. Children begin to trust themselves. Their questions grow bolder, their eyes brighter. Their learning ignites, not because we push them, but because they are pulled by something real, the very chemistry of their own becoming. And they don't just remember more facts, they remember more of who they are. Because this isn't just about learning, it's about living, living alive, living awake, living aligned. You see, curiosity is how we re-enter the story of ourselves. It's how we find the next direction worth daring, the next question worth chasing, the next piece of ourselves worth remembering. So what if I could make you feel something, not just here in this room, But tomorrow, next week, what if somewhere in the rhythm of your routine something caught your attention? And instead of brushing it aside, you followed it. What might unfold if you trusted that spark? If you let it lead, not to an answer, but to a deeper version of yourself? Because curiosity might not just change how we learn. It might change who we become. And if we raise a generation that never learns to silence it, we will change the world. Thank you.